Hey guys, Slime here. Welcome back to my channel, my kings and queens and in-betweens. So, I'm here to do another Tom MacDonald segment, continuing with the lyrics. And I just wanted to say, so much for the tolerant right. My last Tom MacDonald video got almost I think 100 views in 2 days. And on top of that, it got 12 dislikes. Icon. And I think 1 like. Which was my friend because they watched my video. Hi, sissy bestie. Mwah. So I got 12 dislikes. And I got called a snowflake. Sisty. I'm just gonna say this. I don't care if you call me fat. I don't care if you call me a loser. Because none of those things are true. I don't care if you call me a gay. Because that is a truth. But don't call me a snowflake. Because, let's be honest, you probably watched 2 minutes of my video, and you're like, snowflake. And literally, the comment was like, oh, I was wondering when the song would get to snowflakes. It's like, do I look like a triggered snowflake to you? What are you talking about? See, this is where I get upset, is because I'm making calm points, and if you don't agree with my points, that's okay. I literally had a dude that said they watched all 3 of my videos and they just didn't agree with me. That's okay, you don't have to agree with me. I respect your opinion, and, they just didn't agree. That's fine. But, the idea that I'm a snowflake, can we use, correct terminology? Maybe you could call me, a leftist SJW. That's offensive and true, and used as an insult. Caring about others is somehow insult worthy. But yeah, don't call me a snowflake when I'm not even angry. I'm playfully angry now, but all the time I was making my points about what I don't agree with Tom's video about, it's because I find those things ridiculous, and I'm calmly explaining why I don't agree. I'm not being you know what, Tom, this is, when you said the R slur, that's ableist, and when you were talking about this, that's racist, and it's and having a meltdown. It's no. So yeah, if you're gonna call me snowflake, don't, because I'm not. I'm just explaining. The reason why I make these videos is because I think we need more left-leaning voices talking about these important subjects, because the culture war is real, and because I'm actually counterculture. And this is another thing that actually made me upset, is the amount of people that I think Tom is somehow a visionary, somehow he's speaking these deep truths that no one wants to talk about, and then someone said he's counterculture and good at rapping. I like a whole bunch of different rap styles. I'll give Tom this. He doesn't rhyme a lot in this song, but semi-catchy enough, but I would never call it good. And I'm not trying to be a music critic here, but I'm saying this song is good. You can say I like the song's point of view, but it's objectively not a good song. If I was going to rate it from an A to an F, on content, it'd be an F for me. But, a C? It's not, the worst song I've ever heard. But it's not, Kendrick Lamar level. Or, Jaden Smith's old stuff. Or, a Queen Herbie rap is really good. I don't know, okay. So, a thing that made me upset is that people are yeah, Tom is speaking truth. And Tom's counterculture. He's not counterculture. He's part of the pop culture, the popular culture of America. Half of America is right wing. Most popular shows, most popular news channel that gets the most views, Fox News. Most popular political YouTuber, Tim Pool, which he is a rightoid. So Ben Shapiro gets on a bunch of shows. Their political views line up, I'm assuming. Steven Crowder gets a bunch of views. Like, I would say probably like what the most popular left-leaning people is like ContraPoints and like Bosch, the Young Turks, but like it's nothing like the right wing's popularity. They're actually counterculture because we're coming from an American traditional culture to the new wave, and seeing people be spastic on Twitter talking about like how the white race is evil or something and saying my pronouns are they them. That isn't popular culture. That's a subsection of Twitter culture. That's not how most people act in real life. Like, I don't know where you guys live, but no one acts like that. And I think that's a whole nother bubble to talk about. Is like how people actually think that these are somewhat threats. The woke culture is coming to get everyone. What woke culture? Like, okay, well, I don't know. So, yeah, I just wanted to make that point of view. To be counterculture, you have to actually be somewhat counter to popular culture, which he's not. He's part of pop culture. And he isn't some visionary because you ever seen the, it's seen on Twitter a lot, like, oh, you say you're socialist, but you use an iPhone. And it's like, just because I have socialist ideas doesn't mean I don't live in a capitalist society. It'd be like, oh, you're against communism? I see that you like to work, because people also have to work under communism. Like, yeah, that's such a sick burn. And that's literally all of Tom MacDonald's, like, verses and lyrics. And people think this is, like, revolutionary. That is a whole nother level of disappointing to me. Because it's literally, like, the whole meme. It's like, I'll give you an example. Like, oh, you think racism is a problem in America? I guess people should immigrate here. Dab! Dab! And it's like, wow, such a sick burn. You think murder's a problem? I guess you should be against school shootings. Oh, look, I'm a visionary. I came up with the most controversial truth bomb in the world. I guess if you're against murder, you should be for gun control. So crazies don't get guns. Can I have a $50 million contract to make garbage music, please? Like, that isn't, like, the most intelligentsia, like, sick burn you've ever come up with. Literally, that's why I'm saying it's the level of that meme being like, oh, so you like having stuff? I guess you're not a socialist. Or, like, people say this to Vosh on his channel. It's like, oh, I guess you're not a socialist, Vosh, because you don't have people underneath you and you're not spreading the wealth. And it's like, he's a single person running a YouTube channel. Like, if Vosh was a corporation and he wasn't implementing socialist ideas, that would be a burn. But it'd be like me, like, being like, oh, you make lemonade? You're a socialist. Where's your other workers doing these socialist labor for you? It's like, I'm one person making lemonade. Like, I'm not, like, a big company selling lemonade mix. I'm on the corner selling lemonade. So the fact that people think, like, he's so brilliant concerns me, because it's like, if this is what you think burns are, I'm concerned for the country. Because this is literally a meme format that people make fun of on Twitter. And you're over here thinking Tom is, like, the next philosophical king? Philosophy king? I don't know what wordage I would use for philosophy. I have a speech impediment. But he's not, like, the most intellectual, hardcore, cool guy that you think he is. I don't know. It's just so disappointing. Alright, let's continue with these lyrics. So where I left off, I'm at, you're all so fake. Oh no, the forecast said there'd be snowflakes. Whoa, you can't make us see it your way. No way. Gasoline, propane, more flames. Oh no, no more snowflakes. I mean, okay. They set us up to fail. That's what they built the system for. Put the animation shop across the street from a liquor store. I don't know what that means, because, like, weren't you, like, pro-gun earlier in, like, these verses, talking about, like, abortions, and being like, so is there a problem? I don't know. This stuff's so stupid. Empowering women used to be different than this before. Role models got OnlyFans or dance on the stripper pole. You guys never respected actual female role models, and you just pick and choose what you think people idolize. People idolize OnlyFans because no one wants to be poor. So if you have to sell your body to make money, that's better than being poor. Because this capitalist system in America is broken, where we can't even get a $15 minimum wage without the elites being like, that's too much money. But, like, let's buy, like, private jets and cocaine and hookers and use the taxpayer dollar to pay for it, which you can Google. People have actually got in trouble for living an extraordinary lifestyle on the people's dime, why we can't get a $15 minimum wage. And, like, there's been female role models all throughout history, and females love them. Like, see, this is the thing. I don't like it when people pretend to care about stuff they obviously don't care about. You don't care about female role models because no one would say, like, well, some people would say, because some people think sex work is, like, taking back ownership of your female form, and if you're gonna, like, be dominated by the male gaze, might as well make a buck out of it. Which I understand, but I feel like most people make an OnlyFans thing is because it helps with paying bills and gives you the financial freedom to do things you enjoy in life instead of being stuck in a wagey cagey. So that's moralistically what you want to do. That's moralistically what you're going to do. It's not like sex work has not been a new thing. Sex work existed since the dawn of time. Like, prostitution is probably, like, one of the oldest professions in this world. Like, I'm pretty sure they were talking about prostitutes in the Bible. Like, so the idea that this is a new thing, it's like, okay. And so it's like you don't care about real female role models because you just call them feminazis and say they're trying to, like, wokeify this world, and that you're trying to use female Me Too stuff to browbeat men into submission to your feminine wiles or stuff like that. It's like, if you truly cared, you would know that some people do idolize OnlyFans workers. Not because they're females. I see dudes do it too on TikTok. Like, there's, like, a good chance of a dude's, like, ripped and posting a thirst trap of gray sweatpants. He has an OnlyFans and he has a Twitter. Like, just as much as, like, females do it. So, like, I don't get it. Like, are you gonna critique, like, the male role model? Like, where's the male role models that these men think it's okay to show their genitalia for money? But, you know, this is just the sexist part where it's like, you're only talking about females, where I see just as many men doing as just as many females. Like, ugh. It's like, people just want to make OnlyFans to make money. I don't think it's, like, a thing where people are actually looking up to these people. I think we just all kind of know what it feels like to be dirt broke and not wanting to live paycheck to paycheck. And also, like, you don't care about female role models because you've been calling them feminazis, saying they're abusing the Me Too, saying that they're making up lies. They don't care about females and their oppression. They just want to have a power skirmish to hold their power over men because they're finally being listened to. And another thing I like to think about is, like, when Nazi was thrown around, people are like, the left just calls everyone a Nazi these days. Like, okay, well, what about when Rush Limbaugh literally called people feminazi? Like, he coined that phrase way before people were calling people Nazis. So yeah, this whole idea that, like, oh, feminine role models, that's right, everyone just cares about OnlyFans. It's like, not really, but okay. Screw it, I ain't tripping. I don't mean to be mean, but our children are the future. Our children is bleak. They take Adderall to focus, hit McDonald's to eat. They're addicted to their phones. They take Xanax to sleep. They blur the lines dividing communism and democracy. I don't think our future looks bleak because we're actually raising very intelligent children with open minds who truly care about others. Like, Greta Thunberg is a great example where she cares about climate change more than the people who are leaving grandchildren to suffer under climate change do. Like, they don't care. And I'm sorry, with, like, everyone becoming, like, a vegan and, like, more health conscious, like, I don't know if everyone's, like, eating McDonald's. And plus, if you want to, like, fix the problem with McDonald's, like, then put regulations on fast food corporations so they can't make McDonald's as toxic as they do. Taking Adderall to focus, like, this is like a boomer meme. It's like they're addicted to their phones and they take Adderall to focus and they love the McDonald's. It's like, then blame the parenting that raised children like this. Like, is it the children's fault? Like, it'd be like complaining that Amish kids love to, like, farm and, like, ride horse and buggies and, like, I don't know, do whatever, churn milk, I don't know. Be like, well, that's how they were raised. So I wouldn't blame Amish children for that. And honestly, I don't think this is a correct characterization of any children. Because, like, everyone complains that Zoomers are, like, woke little monsters. So which is it? Are they Adderall addicted, McDonald's eating, phone addicts, Xanax sleeping, communists, liberals? Like, does that even make sense? Okay. And this idea that communism, the right just calls anything that's, like, the basic line for other countries, like free healthcare, free college, like income, like, for what, a UBI, universal basic income. They call that communism. It's like, no, that's just what other countries do. You've been brainwashed by Fox News to think that is communism. Does not sound like good things. Does not sound like what the government's supposed to... Like, what do you think the government's supposed to do for you? Take your money, not fix roads, spend it on endless wars? Like, what is government for other than to help the people? If the government isn't for helping the people, then you're just giving your money to ratchet thieves. Like, it's like your grandma getting bamboozled, being like, yeah, we're coming to fix your heater. And she's like, I didn't know my heater was out. It's like, yeah, your heater's out. We really need to fix that for you. And she's like, oh, okay. Is that, like, the mindset you want to have? The government's like, yeah, you need us to control you and, like, say what you can and won't do with your lives and, like, how much money you can earn and all this. And you're like, okay, all right, government. It's like, no, they should be doing things to produce a healthy country if that's what the government's for. But I don't know, right-wingers see it differently. In 2021, we paint the Patriots as Nazis. Well, if you're a Nazi and you love America, then you're just a Nazi who loves America. Like, I'm sorry, is the rebel flag not something that devotes racism? And let's be honest, the Nazis are going to be on the right wing, so anyone who wants to paint themselves as a patriot, because it's been becoming more and more like a code for the alt-right. We're patriots. We care about America. That's why we need to return to these traditional norms where we have power over others. It's like, it sounds like a slight dog whistle when you want to paint yourself as, I'm a patriot. Like, they'll do that with, like, I'm an ethno-nationalist. Or I'm a conservative alt-righter. It's like, you're just a Nazi. So this idea we're painting patriots as Nazis, like, Don't act like a Nazi then? Like, I don't get it. Men playing women's sports get trophies for winning. Let me see how much more time I have left. Okay. I have like 9 more minutes, so I'm going to finish up soon. I don't like this idea because I don't know the whole science behind trans women in women's sports, but you never, ever cared about women's sports until trans people started participating in them. And you truly don't care. You probably mocked people that would watch the WNBA. You probably never watch women's soccer playoffs. Like, you don't care about women's sport. You're not watching women lift and being like, oh my gosh, that's so impressive. Every time, like, a woman does something semi-oppressive, a man is there to tear her down. So please don't pretend you care about women or women's sports or the identity of what is fair. You just hate trans people and you think they're gross. Just say that. I don't like this pathetic game people play where it's like, I care about this issue very deeply. When's the last time you watched a woman playing tennis? Are you a Serena Williams fan? I just think it's unfair. It's like, okay. Well, and plus trans people are pretty gross. Then just say that. Just say you think trans people are gross and you think it's unfair. But don't play this whole game where it's like, hey, women's sports, like, it's just not fair to women. It's like, you don't give a ish. Don't. Do you not feel foolish? Do you not think you look dumb? We all can see we can see the forest through the trees. We know you just think trans people are gross. Just say that. Like, don't play this little hide and seek game where you're hiding the ball, being like, well, no, I just don't think it's fair to women. And it's like, well, what if that trans person was on puberty blockers and literally never had a male puberty? Well, that's still just not fair, because it's like they would literally be genetically almost the same, hormone-wise, and probably body mass size to a regular female. Trans women are women. I mean, it's like, just say that. Like, don't play this game where I just care really a lot about women and the fairness of their games. Like, okay. Like, great, let's celebrate a man for beating some women. Like, I don't know who cares about sports this much. I don't. Literally, the only point I care about sports is the hot people sports produce. See, that's called being honest. I don't care if football literally was gone tomorrow. I don't care if soccer, hockey, lacrosse, any of that was gone tomorrow. I would care if those hot people were gone tomorrow. But I don't care about sports. So, just say you don't like trans people and move on. If you're black, your life matters. You're supposed to embrace it. But if you're rich, you're smart, then you're probably Asian. Yeah, the reason why people say Black Lives Matter is because it doesn't really look like Black Lives Matter to people. Like, you see the people who make so many justifications of why George Floyd needed to die. It's like, well, his history of crime. Did the police know that? Well, he was on drugs, which I've heard has been provably not true, or you can look up the case. There was no reason they needed to kneel on his neck for 9 minutes, arrest him, and throw him in a car. And there's so many cases where black people have been killed, and you look at, I think the Bundy farm, where those, like, hillbillies weren't paying their taxes for these cows grazing, and they were literally in a standoff with the police, pointing guns at them, and somehow they miraculously were able to bring those people in. But then you see cases like where a black person is running away and gets shot, or where I forget her name, that poor girl that gets shot inside her house, and the cops are like, we did everything by the book, and it just so happens everyone's, like, first case evidence of, like, people were there say differently. Like, so it obviously needs to be said that Black Lives Matter, because it looks like Black Lives don't matter. And I guess I'll leave it off of that. Alright, bye. Ugh.